Hey there everybody, this is the second speed paint for this week. This character, I'm kind of calling her my punk hoodie or something like that. I just really felt like drawing something in a hoodie, someone in a hoodie, and I just kind of wanted to give her like this I don't care attitude, sort of like I'm too good for the world sort of thing. I decided to do this digital just because it's a little less work to record myself doing things digitally, whereas with my traditional media, I have to set everything up, and then I have to make sure like the camera's focused. I mean, this is coming through so wonderful. I'm so happy with it. It's so clean versus like my traditional stuff because the camera is not unfocusing. A little bit about my process. What you see here is I had the original sketch that I scanned in, and I just made the layer with the illustration on transparent, and then I tossed a white background in, and then I just went ahead and did my inks over top. I really don't know what to say. I guess I'm trying to predict people's questions and try to answer them before they're left wondering, but I basically just go in with a simple point brush, and I do what I do. I use the tapered brush, and I just make solid lines, and I adjust my art as I go along to meet with the needs of what I'm doing, basically. So if I think something's off, I used to always go in and flip my art and redline it and then re-ink it and blah 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 blah. And now I just kind of do what's natural, because I've found that over the years I've just gotten really good at noticing when something's off and fixing it myself without having to flip it and redline it and reline it and all that stuff. And here I'm just cropping so that way I know it's going to be at a 4 by 6.5. And then I noticed right there that the hip was a little bit off, so I fixed it. I paint bucket everything because it's just easier. With a more painterly style, this just saves a ton of time, but I wasn't going to use a painterly style in this, so I just kind of went in and did my thing, I guess. I just fill in whatever. It's hard to explain, I guess. I just I fill in with my I fill in my base colors, and then I'll make another layer, make it into a clipping mask, and then I'll put all my shading and everything on that. And I do the same thing for both my painterly styles, which I don't really do anymore because I feel like I like the cleanliness of cell shading more. But I do the same thing with cell shading as I do with the painterly styles. I just go in and I bucket tool and everything. Now, I know that some of my friends are like, well, go in and select everything and use your marquee tool to circle everything so you get all the lines in one go. But I'm like, it takes just as long to go through with that marquee tool to circle everything that you're missing. And then it is to just go in and fill in with a paintbrush really quick, because it just is. So, yeah. What else can I talk about? My colors tend to kind of just, I plug them. I call it the plug and chug, but I just plug them in and then I go with it, and then I adjust the colors if I don't like them as I go, because going into something with an idea, I get disappointed when I don't exactly do the idea that I originally started with. I get very disappointed in myself for it. So now I just don't really plan anything out, and that's, I think, the beauty of Photoshop, is there's so much versatility if you don't really know what you're going to do, that you could just go in, experiment around, and if you don't like it, you just get rid of a layer and start over, rather than having to start the whole piece over again. So yeah, and I've always loved that about Photoshop. There's just different loves for the mediums. Like with Photoshop, it's that versatility, it's that endless option. It's, you could basically do anything with and make it look like any sort of medium you want. You can make it look like chalks or pastels or watercolors or straight up paint or whatever. And then with traditional medium, there's so much discipline involved, and I like them both, which is why I do both. And lately I've really been into traditional mediums just because, I don't know, there's something about holding it that really makes it work for me. But my whole illustration career and everything has been basically on Photoshop. And I mean, I do a hack job at it, but I just do what I do and go with it, you know. I've never I've never had anything against either way, digital or traditional. Um, with the hair and things like that, I don't know. I just let the pen do what it wants to do, basically. People have made fun of me for having super shiny hair on my people, but you know what? I like shiny hair. So y'all can just, you know, chill out. I love shiny hair. I think that it adds like this pop to it. And look at that dark green versus that light green. That's just, it's a beautiful thing. And I love it so much. I used to only do like painterly hair, and now I'm like, oh, cell shaded hair is so gorgeous. So, you know, I stick with it. I stick with the things I like. You know, next month it could be something completely different. Here I do messy shades and then I go in and I adjust later. And even after I adjust, I still have to adjust again and adjust again because that's just how I work. I mean, some people view that as a waste of time. Overall, this whole piece took me an hour and a half to do, but I don't look at the time, I look at the piece. And if the piece feels complete to me and if it feels like I did something worthwhile and something happy, then, you know, I'm okay with spending the time on it. Even if other people can do it faster, because I don't feel like art should ever be about speed. I think it should be about the happiness of either the recipient or the creator. So that's just me. And I do have kind of like a crosshatch shading style that I employ every now and then. I don't always use it, and I don't use it in every single instance, but I do tend to use it. I kind of like the faded look it gives for cell shading versus like having to take a faded brush or something like that to make it look as if it's blended painterly-esquely, if you get what I mean. But yeah, this I think this turned out good. That blue that you see there for the hoodie, I meant for it to originally be gray or more gray, and I do adjust it later on because I realized after I looked at it for a minute, I was like, no, that's a little bit too blue. It doesn't quite give the feel that I wanted to it. And then I always toss in a gradient just to kind of add a third dimensionality to the piece. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it took a couple tries, but I got it. I struggled with that nose. I did not like that nose. Like I love the idea of that nose, though, if you get what I mean. I'm so weird. But I fiddled with it after a while, and I think it eventually works. Yeah, that's supposed to be a sucker in her mouth, but I think it looks more like a cigarette. And I know that my husband was looking at it. He's like, why is she smoking? That's bad for you. I'm like, husband, she's a punk. She don't care what you think. And then I was like, husband, it's supposed to be a sucker. And then he like immediately shut up because I think he like felt like he hurt my feelings. But he didn't. He's right. It does kind of look like a cigarette. So I just kind of left it at that. I'll let the viewer decide what it is. It's either a cigarette that's unlit or it's a sucker. And in my mind, it's a sucker because I don't like smoking. Yeah. So I'm just trying to pick brushes here to kind of get that background. I kind of wanted like a drippy sort of grunge looking background. And I have grunge brushes, but I didn't want to use my grunge brushes. I wanted to make it grunge all on my own. So I just kind of went back and forth until I got it to look the way I was happy with. But then I realized that the foreground was just too bright. So I had to adjust that, which, there you go. I just desaturated it a bit and kind of gave it like this sort of, you know, in the middle of the city light sort of look. Well, to me, that's how it looks like. And of course I had to add some little sparkles because, you know, a little sparkle never hurts anything. But I'm coming up to the end of the video here, and just a quick note, this is the second speed paint for this week, and that's because I'm fixing to head out of town. And I figured I would leave you guys with something since I'm not going to be doing any sort of vlogging or anything like that. So this is what you guys get. If you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment below, and at the end of this video you'll see a nice good finalized picture of this, and I believe I will be uploading it to my DeviantArt, my Instagram, my Facebook, and all that jazz. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!